So, so one of you asked me, was it on which day was that? Do I have to be specific? But one of you asked me, it was last week, I was on live, and one of you asked me, like, hey, all right, did you do recovery on your own? And I felt like, let me make a video about this so that, everybody can have a glimpse of what I'm saying. So, yes, I actually did recovery on my own, because when I was recovering, there weren't as many resources, there weren't as many coaches as like right now. Right now, you can literally just, get on TikTok, get on Instagram, get on Facebook, and just type, anxiety, and, many anxiety gurus come up, and, you see what they're saying. But me personally, what helped me recover was, the books, the two books, Paul David's book, Claire Wick's book, and also my experience, my own experience. And, I did psychology as part of my course in uni, so already I just knew, like, this is how the brain works, and also, the two books helped me to know that this is just anxiety, this is how I'm supposed to respond, and also through my personal experience. And I wish I had someone to carry me through my recovery, because it, first of all, it helps in collapsing time. I took some good time in recovery because I was just figuring out everything on my own. When you have a mentor, when you have someone who is holding your hand, you will collapse time, because this is someone who is not winging it. This is someone who will point out your resistance. This is someone who will point you out when you're fighting and tell you this is not the correct way. This is what you're supposed to follow to get you to the next step. When you're doing recovery on your own, you're just like, for example, yesterday you woke up in a setback. You don't know if it's a setback. You don't know if you're moving forward. You don't know if you're moving backward. You're literally just confused. So if you have someone who is able to, if you have a coach, if you have someone who is able to point you to the correct direction and tell you, actually, this is a flare up, this is a setback, or rather, you're just having a bad day, like someone who is able to point you to the right direction without having to wing it. So there are several benefits of having someone to hold your hand. There are several benefits of having a coach. There are several benefits of having a mentor who has been through the recovery process, who knows what anxiety is. Sometimes with anxiety, even when there's a doctor here and there's someone who has, struggled with anxiety here, you prefer to talking with someone who has struggled with anxiety, because you just want them to, relate. You just want them to be able to relate with how you're feeling with the heart palpitations, how the dizziness feels like, how the vertigo feels like, how the shaking, how the migraines of anxiety. You just want someone who can be able to relate to you. So people struggling with anxiety also, they struggle with loneliness. Sometimes you just want someone who can listen to you. That's one benefit of having a mentor. Another one is it makes your recovery so fast, because like, you're not figuring out, you have someone who can be able to point you to the right direction, and therefore your only focus is recovery. You're not focusing on figuring out, how do I go through this, how do I handle this. You only focus on recovery because you have someone to point you towards the right direction. So if you're someone who is asking if it is good to have a mentor, I definitely recommend someone to hold your hand. I definitely recommend a mentor, because there are several benefits of having a mentor. You recover faster. You focus on recovery. You don't have to focus on, figuring everything out. You have someone to, point you towards the right direction. You can do it on your own, but it's just that it will take a lot of time. It will take a lot of figuring out. It will take a lot of, is this anxiety? Is this not anxiety? So I definitely recommend a mentor.